I never filmed an intro to this video, so hey, welcome to my July buzzwordathon, where I read books because they have book-related words in the title. Enjoy! Hello! We love a weird angle. I'm currently driving to Portland because Austin has to take his car to the shop, so I'm meeting him up there so that we can drive back home together. The perks of a luxury sports car, am I right, guys? But whilst I'm driving, I've been listening to the first book for this vlog, which is the plot. I do not remember the author. The picture will be up. In this, we are following our main character, who is he's an author. He's written a novel or two, but he's running out of ideas. He's not feeling very successful. He's just kind of struggling a little bit with coming up with his next idea. So he becomes a sort of professor at this creative writing university and meets this student, Evan Parker, who wants to go by the pen name Parker Evans because he wants to keep his identity semi-private and whatever. And we're basically following their first meeting, their first teacher-student conference, and then we skip to part 2. And in part 2, it's 2 or 3 years later, we're following the professor-author who's on some kind of like retreat or something, working on his next book and has another author editing it. And at this time, he finally does a research on the student, Evan Parker, and finds out that he actually passed away in 2013. So through a little bit of back and forth with himself, the teacher, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, I think it's Jake decides, I'm going to write this absolutely marvelous, never been done before novel that is going to inspire and just change everything. So he's going to write this book and basically steal the plot, title, from this dead student of his that he didn't even know passed away, because it's such a good plot that he just can't see it go to waste and never be written. So that's where I'm at, just at the point where he's deciding he's going to write this story, not necessarily only because it's going to get him back on the map and help boost his career, but like also kind of that. And there's already been so many like great topics for the story where it's talked about inspiration and how writers don't use that word because, as we all know, inspiration is fleeting, and so you kind of just gotta push through whatever feelings you might have. And I really enjoy that conversation. And then in this recent part 2, I just started part 3, which is why I wanted to update you guys. But in this recent part, he mentioned the quote, "Good writers borrow, great writers steal," and kind of touched on that. And I just think that's an interesting quote. I think he said Ernest Hemingway said it, but I don't actually know if that's true or not. But it is a very interesting quote, especially because I'm someone who, I love reading retellings and reimaginings. I think they're so interesting, and so the fact that that's like a quote and that could be a thing is just very interesting to me, because it's not directly saying that like you should steal the plot of your book or whatever. And like the Lion King and taking from Hamlet or whatever it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's more coming down to language and how we can steal or borrow language from other authors. So as you might know, many authors read other people's books and it gives them inspiration and they can steal language and so on and so forth. So I just think it's a very interesting conversation in general. I also just love that this whole entire book is about the publishing world and writing books and stories and all that kind of goes into it. And it's kind of like a little behind the scenes of like what goes down in the publishing world a little bit. I don't think it's everything, but it definitely gives more insight. And the writing is wonderful. The audiobook narration is also wonderful. I am enjoying it a lot. I think that it has a lot of important things to say, but also just like the writing is well done, and it's just like a love note to writing books, and I just think that's so cool. I don't know, I'm really into that. So that's what I'm reading. I might finish it today. I probably have like 2 or 3 hours left now. So I'll get that done and update you guys when I finish. Well, I am sat here waiting for Austin to get out of the dealership to, I thought, just drop off the keys. But I officially have 3 hours left of the plot, which I don't know why I had less time earlier, but I'm now 3 hours. I think I'm on just started chapter 16, so a ways to go, about halfway now. All that's really changed is the fact that he is now being not necessarily blackmailed, but I think it's going potentially that direction because somebody knows that he stole the book from the dead author. But he stole the plot, yeah, but he didn't like steal the actual book. Like, he wrote all of the words himself. It was just the concept and idea of the book, which by the sounds of it really isn't that dramatic. It's really just a book about a young mom and her teenage daughter that don't get along, and I think the daughter kills her, so it's not like a revolutionary plot, but yeah, it's interesting, it's good, it's definitely not as big deal, but it's good, but yeah. So today at work, sorry about Sebra. Today at work, I finally finished the plot. Wow. I gave this 5 stars. Upon reflection, I don't know if it's truly deserving of 5 stars, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was really good. The writing, incredible. The way that the story is written so that the twists are revealed is so clever. And like I mentioned, like, this is such a love letter to writing, to publishing. It's so good. And I really enjoyed the conversations of, like, can you really steal someone's idea? Because I love to read retellings and reimaginations. So can you really steal someone's idea, even if you wrote it yourself, you filled in the blanks where needed, it's your story, but not your plot? Very fascinating. I still don't know how I feel. I'm not sure where I sit, but I did right off the bat give this 5 stars because I was having such a reaction to the twist. The first twist that happens, you're kind of like, oh, okay, and you're piecing it together, like, as the reveal's happening, you're like, oh wow, that was clever, that's something. And then as the second reveal comes, you're like, wait, and as you are figuring it out, as it's slowly getting revealed, and you're just like, wait, is this happening, and then it happens and you're like, no way. Very well done, absolutely very well done. I did not see the twists and the reveals coming. I enjoyed it a lot. This is a book that I would definitely like to own. I don't know if I'd reread it, but I can also see myself rereading this because it's just that good. I don't know. So yeah, that was that. I finished that. And then I also started The Cracked Spine. I'm not sure who this is by. Page. The name Paige is coming to me. Paige Shelton. So, this is written by Paige Shelton. This is an 8-book cozy mystery series. We will see. I'm not a cozy mystery girly. I'm not really a big mystery girly either, just in general. But so far, we are following our main character, Delilah, who's moving to Scotland to work at a bookstore because she saw an ad for it. That's really all that's happened. I've got 3.5 hours left. I'm gonna try and finish it, but I'm also, like, not jumping for joy over it. I'm not loving it. I don't know if cozy mysteries are really for me. I just don't know. But I am willing to give it a try. There has been the first potential death. Someone got ran over by a car, but they might have lived. We don't know. Not a lot of information there. It's very European. Very, like, the accents are good. The Scottish accents are good. The narrator does well at that, but very tea heavy. Just, it's interesting. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. And as for Book of Night by Holly Black, I don't know if I've talked about it yet, but I did start it 14% of the way through. I will not be able to finish it in this video, so stay tuned to my Goodreads, which is always linked down below, or future videos or future wrap-ups where I will discuss it more in length for you guys, because I just won't have time to finish it to get this video up when I want to. But besides that, that's how my reading is going. I'm gonna keep making progress through the cracked spine, let you guys know how it's going, either at the halfway mark or when I'm done, and then we will wrap this up and get this up to you guys. So that's what's going on here. Hey, I'm home from work. I finished The Cracked Spine by Paige Sheldon. It was fine. I'm sure no one is surprised, but like, mysteries, I don't think cozy mysteries will be for me. Was this bad book objectively? No, not at all. Like, the book was fine. But like, somebody dies, and although everyone's sad, it really doesn't feel like anybody is mourning or dealing with the grief of this dead sister. Okay. And then on top of that, you have our main character who's moved from Kansas to Scotland because the bookstore owner, like, specifically sought her out to move to Scotland. Like, it's just that easy to work at this bookstore where she can make her own hours and make the people that are kind to her drive her everywhere, and they gave her a place to stay. Like, it just seems so unrealistic. And the romance was like, whatever, cool that it's there. I know that's a big part of cozy mystery. That was like the best part, maybe. I just can't. And like, the fact that this random woman's all of a sudden like, yeah, let me get involved with this investigation. Let me lie to the cops. Let me lie to the grieving brother that's not really grieving. Like, let me stick my nose in business that has nothing to do with me whatsoever. Why? I can't do it. I gave this 3 stars. Like, the characters were fine. The atmosphere was fine. The plot, whatever. My intrigue was fine. It's luckily like at 2 times speed. I listened to it in like 3.5 hours, so it's fine. The narrator, very good. Her Scottish accent's very good. I could tell every character apart, and there was a lot of characters. Would I recommend this? Yes. I think if you like cozy mysteries, yeah, especially because it not takes place in a bookstore, but a bookstore is a big part of it because that's where she works and the owner works and so on and so forth. So, oh, and there's also like this weird low-key random potential fantasy subplot that I'm not sure about, but I don't think I'm gonna continue with the series, at least not anytime soon. Who knows what the future may hold, but it was fine. 3 stars. That's it. That's all. Hey, so let me situate you. It's gonna be all sorts of noisy all over. Hey, so I literally just finished the Book of Living Secrets. Yeah, The Book of Living Secrets by Madeline Rowe. I haven't talked to you guys about this book at all, not 1 second. I started it, it took me a little while to finish. I listened to the audiobook. And again, a second for this cover, because the cover is honestly, like, I want to own the book just for the cover, but I didn't love the book, so I'm not going to buy it. But the cover is beautiful. This is the author who wrote the Asylum series, which I read the first book in middle school, and that's the first book, if not the only book, that genuinely scared me. Like, I was genuinely scared to go to sleep those nights. And so I really want to revisit that series and get it finished eventually, but this was her new 2022 release. I was so excited for it. All of the anticipated feels were there. And I don't know how I feel. This is a story about two best friends who are obsessed with this book called Mora. And basically on the Sadie Hawkins dance night, they decide to skip out on the dance and instead go to this old man at his like bookstore or something, and they get transported into this book that they love oh so much. It's gothic, it's horror, it's fantasy, it's historic. It is a genre bending book. There's romance, like it has everything in it. But like, that's it. Like, I was a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't talked to Melody yet, Melody Rose here on YouTube. I recommended this book to her and she decided to pick it up, so we kind of like read it around the same time. Hopefully we can talk about it and she can maybe explain the ending to me, because I feel like there's two ways that it can be taken. So I'll be interested to see what she thinks. My issues with the book was I was expecting more plot than character, but there was more character, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but not what I want from my fantasy horror. As well as, you're gonna have to move, little miss. Yeah, I was just a little bored along the way, I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting this grand adventure, like so many amazing, crazy things happening all the time, because what else happens if you get transported into a book? But it just wasn't as exciting as I was hoping for. There was the mystery that they're trying to figure out, but I wasn't captivated. I didn't have a connection to any of these characters. Like, it just didn't really work for me. But I think there's definitely an audience for this, and maybe if I read this physically I would have grasped onto it more, but I just didn't connect to the audiobook. And maybe it could very well be a me thing, because I haven't been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately. I haven't been jiving with them as much, so that could very well be me. But yeah, I think it's just gonna be a 3-star, maybe a 3.5. I'm not sure yet. I'll throw it in call pile eventually. But yeah, a little disappointing, because I was really here for the vibes. And I just didn't quite get what I was wanting. I think this just tried to do a little too much. Yeah, I don't know. It might be something I revisit someday and try and give it a fair shot by reading the book, like if I go to my library and get it or something. But yeah, a little disappointing. And congratulations, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, hanging out with me. Let me know if you participate in the buzzwordathons that Kayla hosts, sort of. Kayla's dictated for the year. If you read anything, especially from this video, or if you have, let me know your thoughts on them. I would love to chat about them more. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys had a good time and had a good day, and I will chat with you very soon. Give this video a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more buzzwordathon vlogs coming from me, because you know your girl's behind. And I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!